Surgeons who engage in video gaming often demonstrate enhanced manual dexterity, resulting in fewer errors and quicker task completion. This correlation underscores the practical skills that gaming can foster. Moreover, playing challenging video games can act as a tool for mental calibration, helping individuals gauge their cognitive state. This awareness allows people to recognize when their mental acuity may be compromised, particularly due to fatigue. In addition, creatine supplementation has been found to provide cognitive benefits, especially in situations of sleep deprivation. This indicates that nutrition can significantly influence mental sharpness and overall performance. Furthermore, there are claims suggesting that the discourse surrounding meat's environmental impact is swayed by financial interests tied to plant-based products and green energy. This viewpoint reveals potential biases within the ongoing environmental debate. Following this, the speaker questions the feasibility of quantifying the effects of reduced meat consumption on global warming, asserting that accurate measurements are nearly impossible. This skepticism raises important questions about the validity of specific environmental arguments. Transitioning to a different topic, the conversation highlights the influence of social media and censorship, particularly regarding the management of narratives surrounding contentious issues like climate change. This emphasizes the broader implications of media influence on public perception. Moreover, the manipulation of political narratives can lead to misrepresentations of facts and intentions, exemplified by the accusations against Trump. This phenomenon illustrates a widespread issue within contemporary political strategies. Consequently, when hoaxes are repeatedly debunked, they can erode public trust in political institutions, especially if these fabrications are perpetuated by those who profess to uphold truth. This contradiction accentuates the intricacies of partisan politics. Additionally, social media's role in disseminating information has transformed the landscape of accountability, facilitating the emergence of alternative narratives. Platforms such as Twitter provide a counterbalance to mainstream media narratives. Shifting focus, the issue of prison overcrowding in the UK presents absurd situations where serious offenders may be released, while non-violent social media users face imprisonment. This highlights systemic dysfunctions within the justice system. Critics argue that the left's approach to misinformation often reveals hypocrisy, as they suppress free speech under the pretext of safeguarding society from harmful content. This issue raises significant concerns regarding censorship and accountability. The discourse surrounding misinformation frequently neglects the role of traditional media, which often spreads false narratives without facing repercussions. This imbalance in media accountability exacerbates public distrust. Moreover, funding for bioweapons research in Wuhan brings ethical concerns to the forefront, especially regarding transparency in scientific inquiry. This discussion highlights how funds were indirectly channeled through organizations like EcoHealth. There is also significant criticism of the rapid rollout of vaccines during the pandemic, emphasizing insufficient testing and potential health risks. This urgency reflects broader ethical issues within the pharmaceutical industry. Continuing this discourse, the conversation addresses the historical tendency of pharmaceutical companies to prioritize profit over safety, drawing parallels with past scandals involving drugs like Vioxx. This underscores the necessity for skepticism regarding pharmaceutical claims. Adderall emerges as a controversial subject, showcasing its benefits alongside potential drawbacks such as misuse and behavioral changes. High doses of this drug can lead to increased anger and aggression. Additionally, the conversation explores how methamphetamine transforms users into more aggressive personas, delineating the psychological dangers linked to such substances. Meth use is strongly associated with severe anger and violent behavior. The historical implications of meth use, particularly its effects on soldiers during wartime, illustrate enduring issues related to this substance. The dangers of dependency and its numerous side effects become increasingly evident. Switching gears, the discussion emphasizes the dangers posed by chimpanzees, highlighting their potential to become uncontrollable as they mature. This prompts a conversation about regulatory measures concerning the ownership of exotic pets. The ethical implications surrounding animal euthanasia for pets found in households spark debate. The speakers argue against resorting to euthanasia, advocating for alternative solutions such as rehoming. Furthermore, the dialogue touches upon public perceptions of different species, demonstrating how certain animals garner more sympathy than others. This discrepancy reflects broader societal attitudes toward pets and wildlife. The video then shifts focus to the influence of political narratives and media on public perception, asserting that this manipulation complicates the pursuit of electoral integrity and transparency. Moreover, the strategic manipulation of swing states through an influx of undocumented immigrants poses a threat to the two-party system. This approach could potentially establish a permanent Democratic majority. California's recent legislation, such as prohibiting ID requirements for voting, illustrates potential avenues for election fraud. Such policies undermine public trust and facilitate untraceable voting practices. Additionally, the accelerated pace of citizenship processing raises concerns about fairness and the risk of undermining democratic values. Critics warn that this could lead to manipulative voting practices. The conversation revisits historical political events, specifically the perception that the democratic primary process is overly controlled, which many believe compromises genuine democracy. Concerns also emerge regarding the consequences of unchecked immigration policies, particularly about the trafficking of vulnerable individuals and the broader societal ramifications of these policies. There is an alarming trend of individuals facing arrest for their social media expressions, highlighting serious implications for personal freedom and freedom of expression. This trend reflects larger societal issues regarding free speech. Moreover, concerns surface about the potential consequences of a political regime that seeks to silence dissent and opposition. Many individuals fear losing their livelihoods and becoming ostracized from their communities. The discussion also emphasizes the role of technology in shaping public opinion, particularly concerning electric vehicles and sustainable energy. This demonstrates how corporate interests can dominate markets, reflecting societal values. Furthermore, the conversation addresses the nuanced implications of gender identity in competitive sports, especially in relation to transgender women in swimming events. This raises critical questions about fairness and competition standards. A significant point raised revolves around the moral implications and potential exploitation of transgender rights, urging a nuanced understanding of identity and its repercussions on societal norms. Additionally, the dialogue delves into the psychological dimensions of gender identity, discussing the possible misuse of transgender labels for personal gain. This complexity necessitates careful consideration in conversations about inclusion. The historical significance of Twitter's acquisition is underscored, portraying it as a crucial moment for the freedom of information in the digital era. This shift is perceived as vital for the preservation of democracy. The decline of balanced reporting in mainstream media is examined, emphasizing its evolution into a mouthpiece for specific political agendas. This transformation affects public perception and the dissemination of information. Further, the conversation discusses the threats posed by propaganda and misinformation, especially during critical events like elections. Controlling narratives can significantly influence public opinion and undermine democratic processes. The abrupt shift in public sentiment regarding political figures such as Dick Cheney illustrates the intricate dynamics of celebrity endorsements in political discourse. This transition is often influenced by underlying industry pressures. Moreover, there exists a perceived pressure on Hollywood celebrities to align with progressive narratives, raising concerns about the authenticity of their endorsements. This creates a challenging environment for those holding divergent views. The conversation highlights a growing divide within Hollywood, where support for conservative figures tends to provoke backlash, as seen in historical instances like Clint Eastwood's vocal Republican stance. This indicates a narrowing of acceptable political opinions. Bureaucratic expansion often results in excessive paperwork and red tape, subsequently delaying vital processes such as project approvals and launches. This inefficiency permeates industries like aerospace. Overregulation has surfaced as a pressing issue, particularly in states like California, where new projects and policies face increasing obstacles. The proliferation of rules can stifle innovation and impede growth. Therefore, the periodic reassessment of regulations is essential to prevent bureaucratic bloat. Historical precedents indicate that without external pressures, like war, regulations may accumulate unnecessarily. Tariffs require predictability to facilitate manufacturers in adjusting their supply chains and avoiding abrupt price shocks that can disrupt operations. Companies need time to establish factories and train personnel. Furthermore, manufacturing is a multifaceted process that demands considerable time and resources, underscoring the importance of understanding the complexities inherent in production. Many remain unaware of the myriad challenges faced by manufacturers. While the U.S. continues to be a major manufacturing hub, there is an urgent need to enhance domestic production to lessen dependence on overseas manufacturing. Events such as the COVID-19 pandemic have exposed vulnerabilities within global supply chains. The comparison of technological advancements from the early 1900s to the present highlights the rapid pace of innovation, particularly with the advent of the internet and social media. This evolution has fundamentally altered our methods of interaction. Starlink's capabilities exemplify how technology can forge connections even in remote regions. This breakthrough illustrates the potential for global communication, transcending geographical limitations. Finally, historical trends indicate that civilizations typically experience cycles of growth and decline. Recognizing these patterns may assist contemporary society in navigating future challenges while sustaining technological progress.